Ekaro, greetings, everyone. Ekaro, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that is on tune. Ekaro. They say today it's one of the best holidays ever. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers. Wishing you all strength, good health, and the abundance of wealth. Ashe. Happy Oshe Ogun Day. Happy Ashe. Ogunye, Moye. They say strongly do one pikes, stomps one's feet during a fight. Tightly do one pike yams in a tuba. Ogun is he who drinks and eats till he is satisfied and throw a calabash against a tree. Ogunye, Moye. So anyone that's online, feel free to follow, like, drop something. Be sure to drop something in the let's see what's going on here. Be sure to drop something. I hope everybody is doing well and moving forward. I say. So it is our J we greet first. It is our J we praise early in the morning. Even before we greet Arumala, they say we greet our J. So our J Karo, our J Olokun, the young become elders, and the elders become young through our J. Our J, we salute you upon rising. Our J, we salute you as we wake. Our J, you are the one we salute at daybreak. You are the one who bring fulfillment and satisfaction. You are the one who bring the finest of things. Our J, let us have you in our hands. Do not let us have you around our necks as a burden. Our J, do not be like an albatross around our necks. Do not become that, but give us more or woe. I say, I J, make our home in the midst of prosperity and make our surroundings the culture of abundance. I J, we have wakened into goodness today on this Mother's Day. I say. So last week we spoke about obtaining and maintaining abundance. And we come to understand that the more we begin to move within that culture of abundance, the more we body abundance, the more we body abundance. And when we speak about obtaining and maintaining abundance, as we spoke, we discussed how that regardless of where we at in life, we cannot outrun our protection. And it doesn't matter what side of the line we on, whether if we in the best times of our life or whether we are what we consider the worst times of our lives. We cannot outrun our protection, because when we speak about maintaining that protection or maintaining that abundance, it includes that protection from that ancestral protection, the protections from the Orishas, and as well as that protection from Olodumare. Because often when we get caught up in these things, or when we get caught up in these things that is ever evolving and ever moving, and usually it comes in a time when we feel like things are going against us or when things is not going our way, the more we tend to run away from the protection, the more we tend to say that, well, let us get this right, let us get this straight, let us handle this, besides actually maintaining and upholding that abundance by calling on our protection. So when we speak about upholding and maintaining abundance, let's understand that to get to this point, we have to move as that we embodying that abundance. And let's not get fooled because we understand that abundance is not necessarily what's in our pockets, is not necessarily the things that we say we have, but it's not limited to that. But abundance, we understand, is steady elevation. When we talk about abundance, and it just doesn't happen when we leave this place as we elevate and go to a room. It just doesn't happen when we go to a room. But abundance and elevation, our life now is a system of elevation within the laws that we are steady increasing. It's so easy today when we look at things and when they tell you these things mentally that you should degrade before you pass, spiritually, physically is one of the things that would tend to go down, right? It will continue, it would tend to, we lose the physical senses that's connected to this earth, but spiritually, mentally, and materially, it should be a process of steady elevation because that is the process which we going. We should be able to rise within a room at the same system and flow within the elevation as we are living with on this earth. So when we speak about this steady elevation, we speaking about the things that we get trapped in, may not understand, we may not know, but we are open to learning, we are open to understanding, and as we looking at ourselves in ways that will continue to allow us while we on earth to continue to expand in the way in which we move. So the question is, are we embodying in abundance? Are we embodying in abundance? Are we embodying our J? Are we bodying abundance in our thoughts? Are we bodying abundance in our emotions? Are we embodying abundance in our actions? Are we playing ourselves for cheap? Or are we just playing or what they call the second fiddle? Because it's easy to get caught up in that system. Because you have to understand, for someone to intimidate, trick, manipulate us in any form and get us out, because naturally we are born into abundance. Naturally, we chose within our system, we chose our destiny before we came. We chose the route which we would travel before we came to existence. Before we came to the birth canal, we chose which way would lead us to our highest purpose, or should we say, our divine destiny. So we know one, what we feed our mind determines whether or not we reach that place, right? What we believe, what we tell ourselves, what we understand. Because at a certain point, things going to end up becoming not easily understood as when we are first arrived. That's why they say as youngsters, they have more in tune at an early age to their destiny. But the more we grow older, we understand that this memory tend to forget. So the only way one can get us out this mindset is first is by telling us that we're not worth it, by telling us that we're not privileged, by telling us that we are second class, just making us believe things and get trapped within a system of impression, of denigration from years on back. Because naturally, we understand that abundance is our birthright. So if you are born in abundance, the only way to get us out this realm is for us to believe that we're not fully equipped to deal with our challenges, to make us believe that, it's through our appearance, it is through our color that things are used against us to hold us back, to neglect our very true selves. Because, and then it's like this, you growing up, we all know about a generational trauma. But what are we doing emotionally? What are we doing from an integrity standpoint to stand on those things? To stand on those things that are used to hold us down, whether it be mentally, whether it be spiritually, you know, because it's easy for us not to have that garnish that integrity, to be able to look at these things that we still blaming, our parents for 30 years. Some of us done outlived 3 or 4 lifetimes and still blaming things for the way we are or the how we act years back. That and not embodying the abundance that comes naturally to us. So that's where this second class citizenship come in at, where now you getting tricked. We getting tricked out the our natural birthright of being embodying abundance. Abundance is our birthright. Everything on this earth is ours. And the more we grow, the more we grow older, the more we should elevate, the more we should steady increase. In the Ìrẹtè Alájé, in the Odu Ìrẹtè Alájé, it speaks about Ope. And Ope is a palm tree. And it speaks about Ope, you know, um, it was during a time where Ope, the palm tree, that he was being treated as he had no value. He being treated as he didn't really have any worth. And people used to pass him by and, random. They used to say, "Are you random? You ordinary?" Some say he was not like the other trees, but he was second class. He didn't have what it takes. He didn't have the mental set as the trees to do some of the things which the trees provide with the medicinal properties and stuff like that. Some say he would never amount to anything. And they looked at him. They looked at the appearance of the palm tree. They say you're rough, you scaly, and you really doesn't have it meant to say that you not doing, you scaly, and but just people just stopped respecting him, and Opay the palm tree, he it decided to doubt itself. It began to doubt itself. It began to be succumbed by the get emotional bankrupt, and everything that was saying, the thoughts became negative to him to the point where he question his abundance. He began to question of whether or not that is his worth. So he still tried to be useful. They say that he still gave shade to the trees, gave shade to the other people. He stood firm during any time of weather, heat, rain, or snow. The palm tree is still stand. But he was still troubled because he didn't know his worth. He didn't know what he was worth. He know he came with a destiny that was meant to succeed and meant to prosper, but he let things from the outside distract him. Ope let things from the outside made him question his very existence, question his very destiny. And he began to look at himself as if his elevation wasn't there. So he stopped elevating. He began to look at himself like he done peaked out and that he stopped. So one day he started to go to the Awo. He started to get an Ifa consultation. So when he went to the Ifa consultation, the Babalawo, he told him, "You are bigger than the things that are holding you back." He said, "You are not a failure. You chose your destiny before you came." He said, "The things that are holding you down, the things that are you using to the words, the thoughts these people are telling you, they put in your mind that you are using to influence you is not true." But he say that you have been called empty, but you are full of value. He told him that you embody abundance. He said your prosperity and your success is guided by the wisdom of Ifa. As we talking about outrunning protection, you know, outrunning protection is when we stop listening to the wisdom of Ifa. Often we get readings and these things come up. We have to do this. We have to do that. And besides doing these things, sometimes we feel like just because we get we hear what they say, we get an understanding of what they talking about in the reading, we don't have to do it. We feel like, well, this not for me. We feel is that how one of the old dudes we spoke about when everybody was saying, well, they're not going to go see a Rumala anymore. We're not seeing a Rumala because a Rumala prices are too high. A Rumala don't know what he's talking about. A Rumala just making up things. So we would not get any more readings. We would not do any more cleansings. That is running away from your protection. So I will say the wisdom of Ifa is your prosperity, is your abundance, your ancestors, your Ori, and the Orisha will protect you. If you dedicate your hopes and your life and your aspirations to Ifa, say your value will open up and all good things will find you. So he told Ope the palm tree, because this is what you must do. He gave him an elbow. He gave, okay, get two of this, two of this, two of this, get a money, blase. Oh. So he did all these things. And once he did it, he returned, he gathered, returned to his place, and something in him changed. He, when he did this elbow, it started opening up these internal doors for him. And it started opening up the mental doors. Then it started opening up mental unseen doors around him. This how the spirit works. It moves in ways where you may think that you can fathom how it moves. You may think that, well, oh, they're gonna make somebody forget this. Oh, we're gonna lose these papers over here. Or we're gonna lose this over here. Nah, it said that he began to change. His thinking began to change. It opened mental doors for him, but it moved unseen barriers out his life. So he stopped believing in the voices that he was worthless. He began to look at himself differently. Then he saw it's a palm tree. A palm tree got palm nuts. He began to see his fruit has value. He began to see that his oil has value. He began to see that his leaves had value. He even began to see that his skin, his trunk, it had value. His fiber had value. The shade that he gave to people, it had value. Even the parts that other people ignored and that they thought of this palm tree, that it was worthless, it served a purpose. So over time, people, they began to come, they passed him. They began to come back. They came for his fruit. They spent money for his oil. They came for his leaves. They came for his material. And they made shade, medicine, food, support. What they rejected, they now found out that they needed. What they call useless, they now discovered it was useful. He did not become valuable because they just start recognizing him. He been valuable. He been chose as valuable. They eyes just became open. So as years passed, he became the knower. He became known as a source of provision, a source of inspiration, a source of medicine, a source of everything. Houses was came, people was building houses with palm trees or pay. Markets benefited from him. Family used what he produced. Priests, priests use them. Farmers, traders, households, all these things began to use them. And it says that his whole being became IJ. And the actual Odu says that Ope is he whose whole body generates abundance. His whole body generates wealth. His whole body generates prosperity. So when we speak about abundant and embodying abundance, that's what we're talking about. Everything is of value that we have: our eyes, our mouth, our ears, our brain, our heart, our hands, our feet. But what limits our opportunity is how we see it. What limit our opportunity is not controlling some of the things that within our headspace, that happen within our lives, and being able to move past them. Because if you embody abundance, you're going to talk with prosperity, you're going to walk with prosperity, and you're going to listen with prosperity. Meaning, we're not playing ourselves for cheap, because at the end of the day, we know our worth. We know who we are. We know the destiny we chose. So if things happening, if things done happen, we understand that these things, we give ourselves time to understand these things, to move past these things. Because it's like welcome to the real world. We always gonna have things that hinder us in this life, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be foes or whether it be ourselves. But the ideal is to be able to understand what is holding us and giving us the mercy, or should I say, give us the compassion, giving yourself the compassion, giving myself the compassion to see and overcome those things that could be holding us back, that could be holding us down. Because just like the palm tree, when it was self doubting, Noah chose his destiny. But listen to what people saying. Getting caught up in the situation, getting caught up in things that happened 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago, and getting caught up in these situations, and now begin not to move with that authority because we forget our worth. The whole thing, the only way that any situation can win over us if we forget our worth. So, to uphold and maintain that abundance, we have to continue to embody abundance. We have to continue embody our J. Because just like they say, Opay is the one who holds body, generate wealth. Whole body generates fulfillment. Whole body generates satisfaction. So the real lesson is embodying abundance is never forgetting our worth. Always being able to whatever these situations that we feel is that holding us down or holding us back, to be able to have that compassion to overcome them. And sometimes that compassion takes a little time. So as we close, let us remember that to uphold, maintain abundance, we have to embody that abundance. We can't neglect our worth. We can't neglect the power that we have and the power that we came with to play ourselves for cheap. We can't talk cheap. We can't entertain cheap. And we shouldn't be associating with anything that devalue us and devalue our purpose. So when we embody abundance, that is the key. Embodying abundance. So in closing, regardless of what turmoil we maybe went through, regardless of what situation that we in at the moment, abundance is steady elevation. And as long as we elevating, as long as we continue to move forward, that's why we say every day is a new day. Every time the sun rises is a day for ritual, is an opportunity to build and create. Ashe, Odumare. Let's not forget that we are the masters of our destiny. We are the architects of our future. We are fully equipped to deal with all our challenges. We build out of chaos and we create out of destruction. Our confidence is our strongest weapon. Our emotional maturity is unparalleled. We don't look for trouble, but if it comes, we deal with it decisively because we are the warrior priesthood. We live life spiritually and physically, and we approach life physically and spiritually. So, like always, we salute Arumala, Adana Ukuren Kukuru Oke Okiti. We salute Eshu Mojibao, the stone bearer, the Risha Avenger. We salute you. Gegele, if death is coming for us, please place us on top to overcome it. Gegele, if affliction is coming for us, Gegele, please place us on top to overcome it. If contention, strife, or any of these things is coming for us, Gegele, please place us on top to overcome it. Gegele. But if abundance is coming for us, please carry us there to claim our blessings. If prosperity is coming for us, please carry us there to claim our blessings. The day we see EB is the day we disappear. The day we see E-Ray, the day we see abundance, the day we see prosperity is the day it will be accepted. Ojo ribini bi wole, ejo rireni re ide, a shatable, a rootable, a satable, a ribatushe. To, happy Mother's Day again for everyone. Greetings, Iya Nandi, the hair care alchemist. Greeting, Dabo Kole la shit, Dabo June James. I wish everyone salute and blessings. Like always, let's continue to go throughout this week that's embodying that abundance, regardless of what the situation going on. As we move within the culture of abundance, we have to embody abundance. We can't let no situation outdo us, no circumstances. But it's remember, it's always about steady elevation. I say why, I say Oludumare, Odabo, Odabo, Odabo.